If I hadn't checked the notification history, I would still believe my wife had never betrayed me. It started with something small, the kind of detail you forget 5 minutes later. A heart reaction under one of her messages sent at 2:13 a.m. when she was supposedly asleep next to me. I wasn't searching for proof, not that night. I was only looking for the weather because the wind sounded strange against the window, but the screen lit up and her name sat there like a quiet accusation. When I opened our chat, the reaction was gone as if it had never existed, and for a moment I wondered if I had imagined it. Then I noticed the edited label on a message I didn't remember seeing before. It was short and gentle, the kind of line people send when they're trained to sound normal. I'll delete it in a minute. There was nothing after it. No explanation, no follow-up, no panic, just that sentence hanging in the middle of our conversation like a loose thread. I asked her about it the next morning, pretending I was curious, pretending it didn't matter. And she looked at me with a calm face and said she had no idea what I was talking about. Her voice didn't waver, her hands didn't shake, and she didn't get defensive the way guilty people do. She looked honestly confused, and that should have been reassuring, but it wasn't, because confusion can be real or rehearsed, and I'd started to lose the ability to tell the difference. That evening, a message arrived from an unknown number. No greeting, no introduction, just a sentence that made my stomach turn in a way I can't properly explain. "You're not supposed to see the drafts." I stared at it until the screen dimmed. When I looked up, Emily was in the kitchen, humming softly, washing a mug as if our life was still ordinary, as if the air between us wasn't filling with invisible questions. I texted back a single word, "Drafts?" And the reply came fast, almost impatient. Things she wrote, things she didn't send, things you weren't meant to read. I tried calling the number. It didn't ring. It didn't go to voicemail. It simply failed, like the number was a door painted onto a wall. That night, I checked my phone again, not because I wanted to catch her, but because I needed to know whether I was losing my mind. I dug through settings I had never touched, and in a place I didn't know existed, I found something called message drafts, a quiet list of unsent words that felt like eavesdropping on someone's thoughts. Most of them were harmless, half-formed reminders, grocery lists, abandoned greetings. But then I saw one with my name. It was dated 3 weeks ago. It read, "I can't do this anymore. I'm not proud of what I've done and I don't know how to say it without destroying him." My fingers went cold. My mouth went dry. I scrolled down and found another draft. 2 days later, "He's starting to notice. I need you to stop." I wasn't reading fiction. I wasn't reading a dream. I was reading a confession that had been written inside my life and then buried. I confronted her again, this time without pretending, and the argument wasn't loud at first. It was quiet and sharp, like the way ice cracks under pressure. She looked at the screen, then at me, then back at the screen, and I watched her face change, not into guilt, but into something closer to fear, as if she was seeing the words for the first time. "I didn't write that," she whispered. And then after a breath, I don't remember writing that." That sentence should have been nonsense, but it landed in the room like a truth neither of us wanted to hold. We stood there, two people in the same kitchen, staring at a ghost made of text, and for a moment the question wasn't, "Did you cheat?" but "Who is writing our lives?" The unknown number messaged again. "Don't ask her. Ask who she was writing to." I searched her contacts. I searched her email. I searched the places people hide secrets. I found nothing obvious, nothing cinematic, no lover's name glowing like a sign. And that was the worst part, because obvious answers are easier to survive than empty spaces. Then, in the drafts list, I found a name I didn't recognize. M. A single letter repeated in half-finished messages like a chant. M, please. M, stop. M, I told you. M, I can't breathe. When I asked her about M, she shook her head slowly, as if the letter hurt to look at. I don't have anyone named M, she said, and then she added, but I used to. The way she said it made the room feel colder. She told me about a relationship before we met, one she rarely mentioned because it didn't feel relevant anymore. A person whose name she wouldn't say out loud because, according to her, it always brought back the same nightmare. She said he was charming in public and cruel in private, the kind of person who doesn't simply leave your life when you break up, but stays in it like a stain. She said she blocked him years ago, changed numbers, deleted everything, and built a clean new world with me. And yet the drafts were there, written in the language of fear, as if that old world had found a crack. That night, while she slept, I received another message from the unknown number. You're focusing on the wrong betrayal. What betrayal is worse than cheating? I typed back before I could stop myself. The reply came slow, deliberate. Someone is rewriting her memory, and you're reading the leftovers. I felt a wave of anger because anger is easier than uncertainty, and I wanted to reject the idea as ridiculous. But then I remembered the edited label, the heart reaction that vanished, the calm confusion in her eyes when I asked her about things she couldn't recall. I remembered the way she had looked at those drafts like they were a foreign language written in her handwriting. I couldn't sleep. I walked through the apartment with the lights off, letting the dark settle around me, and I realized something awful. If someone could change what she remembered, truth wasn't that he wasn't an event anymore. It was just the version that had survived editing. The next morning, Emily showed me her phone and asked me to look with her, not defensively but desperately, as if she needed me to witness what was happening. And that's when we saw it together. A draft created while her phone screen was off, typed at 3:17 a.m., word by word, as if written by a hand that wasn't holding the device. I told you he would find out. Then another draft appeared beneath it, created seconds later. Don't worry, he'll blame you. Emily covered her mouth. I felt my pulse climb in my throat. I watched the cursor blink at the end of the sentence like an eye refusing to close. A final draft appeared. Pick a story. Either she cheated or she's being controlled. Either way, you lose. And then, as if the phone itself was tired of being a witness, the drafts disappeared one by one, leaving a clean, empty space where terror had been. Emily started to cry, not with guilt, but with relief that she wasn't crazy alone. And as I held her, I realized the worst part wasn't the possibility that she had betrayed me. It was the possibility that someone was trying to make me believe she had, because belief is cheaper than proof and suspicion can destroy a marriage faster than any affair. My phone vibrated, a final message from the unknown number. Now, you should understand, the betrayal isn't always physical. Sometimes it's narrative. I tried to respond. The number was gone. The thread was gone, like it had never existed. For days afterward, I watched Emily the way you watch a fragile thing you love. Not because you doubt it, but because you're afraid of what might break it. She acted normal, but we both carried the same silent fear that our memories were not entirely ours, that our past could be rearranged, that love could be poisoned without a single touch. And sometimes late at night when the apartment is quiet and my phone is face down on the table, I still feel the urge to flip it over, as if I'm waiting for the next draft to appear. Not because I want the truth, but because I want to know who is writing it.